Hello, this is Patrick with Royas, and today I'll be teaching you how to make a level scene manager in GDScript for Godot. So as you can see here, I've got a level scene manager node, and this scene is going to be the scene that launches when we build the application. And it's just got a script attached, and then we've got a level 1 and a level 2, just so that you can visually see it transfer between levels. So first things we're going to do is just open up the script, and I'm actually going to switch over to VS Code. And now in VS Code, we're going to want to export a couple variables. So we're going to want to export the first scene at index, and we are going to make that an int, and then we're going to set that to 0 because like that's most likely the first scene we want is scene 1, and then we'll export a editor scenes, and we will make this a array of type packed scenes. Oops. Perfect. And now we'll have a loadable scene. Actually, no, first. So now we need to put this editor scenes into a format that we can use for our scene manager. So we're going to go and make a function called populate loadable scenes list, and this is going to return void. And then we're just going to loop through. So for scene in editor scenes, we're just going to print out this other function that we're going to make called add level scenes or scene to scene or add levels to scene array. And then we are going to pass in the scene. Now we're going to go make this function. Oh, it doesn't have autocomplete for creating that function for us. So I'll go function add level scene to scene array, and then we will take in a scene to this, so scene, and then we'll make this of type packed scene, and then this will return an int. And so what this function is going to do is it's going to take this scene and make it into a data type that we've created ourselves. So we're going to go and create that data type right now. Okay, so let's go down here and go class loadable scene, and then this will have two parameters in it, and we'll have the be the var scene name, and this will be a string, and then we will have a var scene, and then this will be a packed scene. And now let's go back up to here and make that put the scene into this data type that we've just made. So we'll say if scene is equal to null, well then we're going to want to just return -1, which means we failed. And we weren't able to do what we wanted to do. Now we'll go var scene name, and this will be a string, and we will set this equal to scene dot underscore bundled and then we will take the name out of this bundle, and we'll take the index of 0, which is the first name in this bundled scene. So this will be the root of the scene. So when we go into this, it'll be taking this name or this name. Okay, now we'll just print the scene name. So print scene name. And we will go and loop through the scene names to make sure that there's no duplicates. So we'll go var I, and we'll make that an int. And I'm just doing these for myself so that I know what data types they are, and that way I don't get confused when I'm reading through my code. So var I, while I is less than loadable scenes. So actually we need to make a variable up here to store all the loadable scenes. So we'll do a var loadable scenes. So this will just be an array of loadable scenes. So this will be just all the scenes that we can load. Loadable scene. Okay, now let's go back down and say, well, loadable scenes dot size. So while it's less than the size of the loadable scenes, if scene underscore name is equal to loadable scenes I dot scene name, well, then we're going to want to print an error. So print error, and we will say that there is a duplicate scene with the name, and we will say the name and close the parentheses there, and then we'll return -1 once again because we failed. And below this, we will do I plus equals 1. So it'll go on to the next iteration of it. Now we'll take a var here and we'll go loadable scenes, or scene, singular, not plural. And this will be of type loadable scene. And it'll be equal to and it'll be equal to loadable scene dot new. So loadable scene dot scene name will be equal to scene name that we just got up here. Loadable scene dot scene is equal to scene. Now we'll go down here and say loadable scenes dot append. So we'll add it onto the end. Oops. Of the current loadable scene array. The loadable scenes array. So we'll add the loadable scene to it. Now we'll return loadable scenes dot size -1. And that'll just return the size of the array that this is. So if we've got one thing in here, it'll return a 0. If we've got two things in here, it'll return a 1. So now that we have our stuff in a in the format that we can use, we will just call this function add level scenes to see, or actually we'll do populate Perfect. And I'm just going to return here. And return here. Huh, still not doing IntelliSense below this. Interesting. Well, now what we want to do is we want to load the level scenes that in ready that we want to start with. So what we can do is go load level scene by index, and then we will take the index of the first scene index. So now let's make this function. So let's go down here and go func load level scene by index. And this will take in a index, and that'll be of type int. And then this will return a loaded scene, which we haven't made yet. So I'll just put pass in here for now. So now let's go back down here and create our loaded scene. Okay, so we'll go class loaded scene, and then this will have 3 parameters. So this will be a var scene underscore index is an int. So this will be the index that the scene stored at. We'll have a var scene name, and this will be a string. And then we'll have a var scene, which will be of type node. And so that this is so that we can keep track of the scenes we have loaded and load and unload them as needed. Okay, let's go up here and finish that function that we were working on. Okay, so what we'll do is first we'll check now if the scene index, so actually the index is less than 0, then it can't be in the array because the array can't be less than 0. Or if the index is greater than the loadable scenes dot size. So if it's within those things, we will have to return null because there can't be a scene that matches this. So that way we won't get a null reference exception. And now we'll return a load level scene, and then we will pass in a loadable scenes, and then the scene index, or the index, and the index here as well. Now we've got to make this function to load the level scenes. So I'm going to go down here, go func load level scene, and then we will have a scene to load, and this will be of type loadable scene, and then we'll take an index, and this will be of type int, and this will return a loaded scene. So we'll say if not scene to load dot scene dot can instantiate. So we'll check if we can spawn the scene. If we can't, then we'll return null. If we can spawn the scene, we'll say if current current scene. Oh, we need to check where the current scenes are. What current scene is loaded. So we'll store the current scene up here. So we'll go var current scene is of type loaded scene. So if current scene does not equal null, then we will say current scene dot queue free. So we'll unload the current scene that we've got going. And then we'll say current scene is equal to null. Now we'll go var new scene is of type node, and we'll say that this is equal to scene to load dot scene dot instantiate. So now we're spawning this scene, and we'll say if new scene is equal to null, then we will return null. That's just like if for some reason we didn't get anything out of it, just in case. So now we'll say current scene is equal to loaded scene dot new, and we'll say current scene dot scene is equal to new scene current scene dot scene index is equal to index current scene dot scene name is equal to scene to load dot scene name. And then we will add child new scene. So we'll make the new scene a child of this node. Now we'll print new scene dot name and return the current scene. So now that should be able to load that first scene we got. Oh, return. I misspelt there. So now we should be able to load that first scene. So let's go back to Godot and set this up. Okay, so now we'll have the first scene be the 0, and we will make this array packed scene. We'll give it a size of 2 for both our levels. We'll go to scenes and add level 1 and level 2 to this scene array. So now let's see if it loads level 1. Okay, we got an error. Let's go back and see what that error is. Oh, I messed up and said name instead of names here. Okay, let's run this again. And it loads the first level. All right, perfect. Okay, so now let's go back and have it so that we can change between levels. But first, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to make a function that will load the level scene by the name of the level as well. So I'm going to go func load level scene by name. And then this is going to take in a scene name. And this will be of type string. And then this will be or return a loaded scene. So this will we'll make a var I, and we'll make this of type int, and this will be equal to 0. And we'll say while I is less than loadable scenes dot size, Then we'll say if scene name is equal to loadable scenes I dot scene name. Then we will return load level scene, and we'll take the loadable scene at position I, and then we'll also pass in I to that as well for the index that it wants. And we will go I plus equals 1. And if we can't find anything that matches the scene name that we put in, we'll just return null. Okay. Now let's make it so that we can change between scenes. Oh wait, I forgot something else. We also need to make sure that we can remove scenes from the scene list. So actually let's go to the bottom and do that first, because I feel like that's an important thing to have in this. So I'm gonna go function remove level scene from array by index. And we'll take in a scene index, so index, and that'll be of type int. Of type int. Okay. And then this will return a bool. And that bool will be whether it succeeded or failed. So we'll say if index is less than 0, or index is greater than loadable scenes dot size, then we'll return false. We'll also have a loadable scenes dot remove at, and then we'll give it the index, and then we'll make a function to readjust the scenes so that, like, because all this loaded scenes or loadable scenes, loaded scenes, yeah, have this index here. We need to readjust those. Or actually, we just need to readjust the current scenes index. My bad. Okay, let's go make the function to readjust the current scene. So we'll go func readjust current level scenes index. And this will be returning a type of void. So it won't be returning anything. So we'll do the classic var I type int is equal to 0. And then we'll say while I is less than loadable scenes dot size. Say if loadable scenes I dot scene name is equal to current scene dot scene name. Then what we'll do is current scene dot scene index will be equal to I. And then we'll return. And if we can't find, and then we'll just do the I plus equals 1 to continue on in the loop. And that'll just readjust the current scene index if we remove a scene at runtime. Okay, so now let's go back up here and call readjust current scene index. And then we will return true. And now we'll also make another one to remove them by the scene name. Might as well, right? So function move level scene from array by name. And then we'll just take in a name. I'll just say scene name clarity, and this will be of type string, and this will return a bool as well. So we'll do the var I, which you're probably sick of by now, is equal to 0. And then while I is less than loadable scene dot size, whoops, loadable scenes dot size, say if loadable scenes I dot scene name is equal to scene name, then we will go loadable scenes dot remove at I, and then we will readjust current scenes index and then return true. And then if it's not on this index, we will do I plus equals 1. If we can't find anything, then we'll just return false. Okay, now this is pretty much everything we should need. We can probably just go up here and in the process function, we can just continue loading the scenes. So let's try that out. So I'm just going to make a couple temporary variables, var time, and this will be of type float and equal to 0. And then we'll have a var has advanced, and this will be of type bool. And we'll set this to false. So in process, we will say time plus equals delta. So we'll just count up. And then if time is greater than or equal to 1, so after 1 second, and not has advanced, then what we will do is we will set has advanced equal to true so that we don't do this constantly, and then load level seen by index, and we will do the index of 1. So it'll just start on the first level. After 1 second, we'll load the second level. Now let's see if this works. And there it goes. It works. So we load level 1, now level 2. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. This is my first time doing a GDScript video. Let me know how it went. If you liked some things or didn't like some things, please let me know. This was a little bit more of a scatterbrained video, and I'm sorry for that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks. Bye.